Alright, Trial Mob, I have a bunch of updates coming for this weekend. There's just a lot of news that is hitting, so I'm going to be breaking it up. This is going to be the first one, so we have some Joytoy, some new fresh retro, and a PGV update that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have been wanting to hear, but we'll get into more details and see if it's really something you want, alright? Let's go ahead and get it. So to start everything off, we actually have 3 new figures from Joytoy. I have this photo right here, but don't worry, I will show you guys a few more close-ups. I just thought this one was a good one to illustrate what we are getting. These are surprisingly different looking, because on the left we have something that looks like it could be from today's military, and on the right we have something definitely more futuristic. So this first one was right here is going to be the Dark Source Gregson. So this is what looks like a US military figure. It's kind of weird because it's got a retro look to it, but it has modern weaponry, so I'm not really sure what they're going for here or what the storyline is, but I do like what we're seeing here. The gun is pretty badass. The overall armor I don't think we've ever seen before, and those bare arms, the way you see there, I'm not sure if we've had exactly this one before. It's a ginormous joint right there, but I'll tell you right now, the articulation in that elbow is going to be absolutely incredible. And as you can tell, he comes with just a whole bunch of armor, and I kind of like that he doesn't have any armor below the knees. While I don't necessarily always like that look, that does mean the articulation of this guy is going to be absolutely phenomenal, considering that most likely in the chest it's going to be a little bit limited because of that armor. Now, the second one up is going to be the Dark Source Steiner, and again, a really cool looking figure, but this one definitely breaks the mold a little bit, and it's definitely a lot more futuristic. Almost looks like a different take on the Snake Eyes character. I kind of do like what I'm seeing here. The helmet is decent. I don't really think it's my favorite, but the rest of the armor palette does look nice, and all of these guys do come with unhelmeted heads. So of course, if you don't like the helmet, chances are you're like the unhelmeted head, and that'll still be pretty cool. And then the gun itself does look pretty badass. Now, while I'm still not convinced that a helmet, once you see these 2 katanas that he has in his hands, or 2 blades, whatever you want to call them, and the fact that you can sheath them on the back, this is a really cool looking figure. I have a soft spot for these sworded figures, and this looks like it's going to have pretty good articulation overall. Again, that elbow joint looks like it's very deep, so most likely you'll be able to get a lot out of those arms, even with the armor on. So again, this is definitely something that I could see as being kind of their almost G.I. Joe-esque line. So again, really cool stuff. I think that this right here, this shot right here is the bunny shot for me. Now shooting back over to Gregson, as you can tell, I mean, that articulation does look going to be pretty good overall. He does come with a lot of equipment, a couple of guns, a couple of different weapons. The stance looks nice. I'm wondering if that chest armor is going to get in the way of him being able to kind of bring his arm across his chest. That hasn't necessarily been too much of a problem with some of these newer builds, but I don't know, it just looks incredibly thick, and I don't think we've gotten something like this before. Now, the third character that we're getting is also from the same grouping. This one is named Bo Yang Feng, and he is looking like he's using the same helmet as the one we saw before. So this is something interesting because we are seeing some sharing of the helmet on similar release figures. So again, interesting to see, but I do like this one a lot. Again, I'm not sold on this style of helmet, but I do like the overall figure. The couple of guns that it has, the belt, this one is definitely the least armored, and this one's a little bit more of like a, I don't know, what would you call, like an urban figure. So I do like the way this one looks, and I do think it fits the overall aesthetic that we've been shown so far. Now, this is why it's so important for us to be able to get an unhelmeted head, because while I don't like that helmet head all that much, he looks absolutely badass. It's a really good head sculpt. And of course, he comes with some katana blade-like weapon, and for me, oh, that makes this one a must-buy. This is really cool. I love being able to get bladed weapons. I wish we got them more often, so I'm happy to see that we're getting it right here in this release. Now, as you've noticed, they've been reusing this helmet a lot, but we are seeing it on the suited assassin figure. So I did mention that we were most likely going to get more of those just with different helmets, and I think that this is a prototype for the next suited assassin that will just have a different helmet, which is kind of cool considering that you can probably get an army of these guys all with potentially different unique helmets. Now, again, here we do have another prototype of another figure. While I love the way the body looks, some of the armor looks, that helmet is just not for me. I think this one's definitely an L, but this might not be the final product. This might just be hiding what the actual head or helmet might look like. Again, body looks great, but that helmet, I'm just not digging. What do you guys think? Now, this one right here had the community going crazy on Facebook. So this right here is another Joytoy prototype. Now, this one looks a lot more well put together. And damn, this is something that Joytoy has not done before. This specific look, they have not done before. And now here's my question. Do you guys know if by chance they might have gotten the Borderlands IP? Because I could 100% see this coming out of Borderlands. Or maybe they are just doing something that's in the same fashion, which I imagine is going to reel in so many people. Borderlands is a huge IP with a whole bunch of really awesome designs that they use in that game, and I imagine that they would translate incredibly well into a 1/18 scale figure. So this one looks absolutely radical, and I'm definitely up for buying this one. It also looks like it'll be coming with a really nice set of other accessories. So a nice large shield that just looks dope, man. And then the spear, the sword, the gun, this all looks super retro, steampunk, Borderlands style. I mean, again, I don't know if they got the IP or not, but I would not be surprised because this looks like it's jumping right out of the game. And then on the final release that we are getting this figure right here. I don't have a name for it yet. I haven't seen any of the actual solicitations, but he's already basically, this isn't a prototype. This is already what the figure is going to come looking like. My favorite fully armored figure so far. Maybe it's the orange color, maybe it's the skull face, but damn, this looks really badass. The gun that he comes is, it's like some version of like a P90 or a Chris Vector, and you can definitely tell he has a blade right behind him, which is what I've been saying I love. So this one right here is a very interesting one that I don't have anything on it, but if you guys know more, please let me know, because this looks absolutely badass. This is definitely one that I want to pick up for sure. And now switching over to Fresh Retro under the Mecha project. So Brave 13, MPO3, and MPO4, these are the next two releases that we will be getting from Fresh Retro. I really like what they're doing here. I feel like on the first two sets we didn't get a lot of these really nice photos. Maybe I'm wrong, but here we have MPO3. This one right here is going to be physically the smaller of the two next releases that we'll be getting, but as you can tell, really badass look overall. It's going to come with all the same stuff we've seen before in terms of the magnetic base, or should I say the metal base for the magnetic feet. I really like the proportions of these guys, the way they look. I know they're like cyborg robots or whatever, but really like the anatomical proportions of these. Now, just as the ones that we've gotten before, he will be coming with a few extra weapons. So we do see the knife that he has in the hand, but at the bottom right we see the knife, the pistol, the assault rifle he comes with, and then a backpack that hopefully holds at least one or two of these weapons. I always love when the backpack that they come with is able to help you hold some of the weaponry on him, because I want to be able to put all the items that he comes with physically on the body of the figure so that I don't have to store anything on the side, which Joytoy sometimes does a great job of that. Acid Rain sometimes does the same, but sometimes it doesn't. So it's really nice when we can see that mix. So here we do get to see that backpack, and it is a fairly large backpack. I can't tell just by looking at it whether or not the knife and the pistol are on there, though I think I can kind of see the pistol peeking on the right. So definitely nice that we'll be able to, again, sheath some stuff, and maybe that's the knife on the left. I can't really tell. But for the most part, I do like the features. I do like the way it looks. These guys come just with so much for the money. I mean, I think BBTS has them for like 40 bucks. That's an incredible steal for how much you get from these guys. So hopefully the quality is good. And then here we do get a better look at that pistol that he has, and those hands look really nice, man. I mean, they both look like trigger fingers, but when you see them holding the gun like that looks so realistic, man. I really appreciate that it looks the way it does, because that index finger looks like it's almost potentially its own mold, you know what I mean? Like, it's not directly connected to the rest of the fingers like we see in Acid Rain products or even in some of the Joytoy stuff. Now for the MPO4, now this is the chunky boy himself, and you know what? These guys are, I think, like $5 more expensive, but they're like bulkier. They're almost twice the amount of figure, to be honest. And I'm surprised it's only a $5 upcharge, considering everything it comes with. As you can see here, a knife, an axe. I really like these bulky figures. I really hope they continue making these one-in-ones. You know, one skinnier figure, one bulkier figure. I think it's a really nice look and aesthetic. And this one right now with this red color, probably one of my favorites. Now here, as you can tell, he does have that big old backpack that has those, I don't know if they're supposed to be thrusters or what exactly they're supposed to be, but it looks really badass. And then this one, as you can tell here, does allow you to put, I see the knife on the left, his I don't know, rifle on the right. That's really dope. That's dope to hear. We get to see that he can in fact put the large weapon on the backpack as well, though I'm wondering if he does come with a pistol or anything like that. We'll see on the next slide if he does. So no extra photo that shows everything that he comes with, but as you can tell, backpack, rifle, and at least one knife. And the rifle in his hands looks great. This guy's even bulkier and larger. The hands are a little bit bigger. I imagine that it's going to have some of the same articulated features. I don't know if the hands are articulated at all. I do believe that there's no articulation, but again, the molding here is pretty top notch. So if they can pull off good quality for the price point, I'm telling you, I honestly believe Fresh Retro is going to be one of the new big names when it comes to the 1/18 scale figures that people will be clamoring to buy. Now switching over to Planet Green Valley. Okay, so some good news, maybe some bad news. We're going to go ahead and break it all down right now. So the Ilena toy store on AliExpress currently has 4 new body types that we will be getting soon. This is one of them. I'll be showing you all 4 of them. So they have them now all available. I checked online to see what the prices were, and the prices do range between 40 to, or should I say, between about $50 to $60. These figures right here are basic figures, just the body, just the model, no extra guns, no extra backpacks, not even sidearms, nothing. This is a bare figure. Now, keep in mind 2 things. While the price point might seem a little bit on the high side, since $50 gets you literally a model with multiple guns, weapons, and armor, whether it's from Joytoy or Acid Rain. So these are definitely going to be expensive, but keep in mind that these are very difficult to get. Up until recently, you haven't even been able to get this on BBTS or anything. You had to get them through kind of a not so forward way through emails and other things, which, you know, is fine. You can still get them and they're not necessarily too crazily expensive. But if you can get your hands on this, I think that they're not a bad deal at all, considering that I've never bought any of these before, but I've been told that these are very high quality, that these have really good features overall. The articulation is not bad. And if you guys know, Planet Green Valley does do kind of like booster sets that come with multiple guns, multiple helmets, multiple, like, just basically the outfits. And so, or should I say the armaments. So I feel that if you are able to buy at least one of these, most likely in the future via BBTS or other means, you will also get battle packs you'll be able to add to these figures to make them actual soldiers, right? So again, these are not easy to get. I think that considering that we normally do get battle packs from PGV, or at least we have seen them released before, this would not be a bad idea right now to at least buy one, because again, Planet Green Valley is something that a lot of people want. It looks like it's not going to get too much easier to get, and this could at least be your way in to see if this is something you want at a price that's fairly obtainable. All right, guys, so let me know what you guys think about all that and what's your most favorite thing and whether or not you guys are going to buy any of these.